Hey guys. So today we're learning about the parable of the mustard seed. So yesterday we talked about the parable of the sower and how our heart needs to be like that good soil to help us nurture and grow, and what can we do to be like that good soil. Today we're going to learn about the parable of the mustard seed. And for me to read that story today, instead of reading it out of the Bible, I found this really cool book that shares both parables that we learned yesterday and today. So this book is called God's Little Seed, a Book of Parables by Bijou. So let's listen to the story. God's Little Seeds, a Book of Parables. Jesus spoke to people simply. He told stories. He called parables. He said such wise things that all the people who listened to him opened their ears, their eyes, and their hearts to hear. He said small things and great things with tenderness. He said gentle, loving things people had never heard before. God keeps us and watches over us, Jesus explained. God is within us always. Listen, Jesus said happily. This is the parable of the sower. In the spring, a farmer goes out to sow seeds in his open field. The wind by chance catches the little seeds, and some of them fall outside the soft furrows. With swift wings, birds swoop down and eat those tiny seeds. The soft furrows are just like the path. When the seeds landed on the path, the birds came and ate them before they could grow. Other seeds fall onto rocky grounds, and the blazing sun burns their fine roots, so they wither and die. Still others on the wind's wing fall into thorns and weeds and thistles and can't grow. But some of the little seeds fall onto the good earth and sprout into a field of golden wheat. They fell onto the good soil and were able to grow. God's love nurtures us the same way that the good earth nurtures the little seeds. So remember that good soil helps things grow and helps our faith grow. Listen again, Jesus said. Here is another parable. God's kingdom is like a tiny mustard seed. Mustard seeds are the smallest of seeds, no bigger than a little grain of sand. But it grows to be a tall and graceful tree. Birds come to nest in its branches. So it goes from being as small as a grain of sand. When it's planted in that good soil, it grows up to be a tree big enough for birds to nest in. God's words are his little seeds. He is our Father. Listen in your hearts for his joy and his songs. The end. So just like that mustard seed starts so small, something so small, planted and nurtured, grew into something huge that the birds and the animals could live in and grow in. So we can take just that little bit of faith the size of a grain of sand or a mustard seed, plant it into our good soil, our open hearts, and we can grow and grow and grow. Even us being small, we can do something small, something just a little bit of faith, and it can grow into something amazing. I want you guys today to take your clay pots that you painted yesterday during our craft time. Take the good soil from our store yesterday, and find the little seeds that are in your packets. And I want you to plant those little seeds with the good soil in your clay pots and watch them and nurture them and help them to grow and use it as a reminder that just something so small can grow into something really cool if we take care of it and nurture it. So we just take a little bit of faith in our hearts and we can grow into something super cool and big like that tree did and was able to support those animals. So you guys are going to get to see something really cool. I got to go explore Michael, our organist's garden, and he got to show me some really cool things about how he does gardening and how he has all kinds of seeds and how they grow into these really cool things, just like the mustard seed did. And he wanted to share those with you guys. So I hope you guys enjoy getting to see Michael's garden.
Hello, VBS participants. So my name's Mike. This is my vegetable garden, and I know you're talking about the parable of the sower and the seed. So here's a real life example of seeds and the sower, and how it's important to have faith that something will actually happen. So I'm standing in front of carrots. They are really coming in beautifully, and all I did was take my trowel, kind of dug a little place in the soil, and I put the seeds in, covered it up, put some water on it, and then I trusted that God would take care of the rest. So the seeds that you're talking about, like having the faith, with the mustard seed is really tiny. Carrot seeds are pretty small too. They don't have a lot of size to them, and they don't really look like much. But if you put them in the ground and water them and tend to them in some way, they will eventually develop into something beautiful like this, and give nourishment to your family and friends. So the big lesson I've learned about this is to absolutely have faith, because aside from me putting the seeds into the ground and putting water onto them, there's nothing I can do to make them grow. That's all part of God's hand and part of God's artistry in making it happen. So this is really all this is all grace. I've done nothing to earn it. It's all pretty much gift and faith. So these are tomato plants. Tomatoes are actually a vining plant. So if you talk about Jesus as the vine, we are the branches, that kind of idea, this is what a vine can look like. So these are tomatoes, and the seed is kind of small. It looks kind of like that. So again, sower and the seed idea, that's what we're starting with. So we have to have a lot of faith that this will eventually turn into something that looks like this, and will actually start to produce some fruit. And this one is called Gold Nugget, and it is a vining plant, and eventually it will produce tomatoes that look like this. And we've already got some already starting to form here on the vine. So when we think about vines and God's kingdom and some of the things that happen to contribute to health, if I let all of these tomatoes just grow the way that they wanted to grow, I would actually end up with just a forest of leaves. And the more leaves that you have together that are closely compacted, the more the plant can become unhealthy. So to help things thrive and grow, while I have faith that these will, certain things you have to do. You have to prune some things. So you maybe hear in the story about how God does pruning to make things healthy. So sometimes pruning can look kind of severe. Like if you look at the bottom of this plant from the root to where the fruit is actually starting to set, I actually pruned those. I took those leaves off so that the plant can be healthy or healthier as it starts to grow. So if it would be growing leaves and vines here, it would open itself up to disease, not only this individual plant, but it would affect the entire community of plants, which in this case, there are 57 tomato plants that are in this area. And they're all connected, so the health of one plant really affects the health of the entire community. So if you think about how you can make yourself the most spiritually healthy, that will make everybody else around you spiritually healthy too. So pruning, it might look severe and it might look like the plant is under some stress, but actually by taking away the things that are not helpful and not healthy, it actually tells the plant, oh, well, maybe I should start focusing in on what my purpose is. And the purpose of a plant like this is to actually grow tomatoes and grow food. So by pruning it, I'm giving it a better shot at being healthy. So think about how that pruning might make you, what things can you get rid of in your life, or habits, or ways of thinking that aren't spiritually healthy, and think about what your life would be like. Would it be better if you were able to get rid of some things that aren't helping you grow as a person, and how that will make your community, those people that are around you, more healthy too.